What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. We are on day 4 of the new split. We're back with a chest and arms workout, so fairly similar to one of my workouts during prep, but a few small changes you guys will notice as I take you through the workout. But one thing I have found out after yesterday's, I would call a failed attempt that you guys saw at Katie and I trying to film a mic'd up leg workout, I noticed when I go to the gym, I just want to put my headphones on, put my hat down, and just get to work. I don't really talk that much, even though Katie and I, once again, get along very, very well. We both prefer to work out, honestly, alone, just do our own thing, put our music in, head down, just get to work. So I'm just going to go ahead, film the clips, do a voiceover, because that'll give me time to, once again, think about what I want to say rather than try to think and work out and have intensity and proper form all at once as I film. It's a lot easier with Isaac when I can just do my workout and he films, edits everything. When I have to film, think about what I want to say, get the angles, all that kind of stuff, it just makes it harder. So I'm just going to go ahead, put the camera on a tripod, not talk to you guys, and during the workout at least, because you'll hear my voice during the voiceover of the exercises, but when I actually go to the gym right now, I'm just gonna put you guys on a tripod, film the clips, and then talk about it after. So enjoy the voiceover, enjoy the workout, I'll talk to you guys afterwards. And we'll go ahead and get into day number 4. We have a flat dumbbell bench press to start. Yes, I do a few warm-up sets as well here just to make sure everything's feeling good. I'll occasionally grab maybe a 40-pound dumbbell, maybe jump up to like a 65, 70, and then maybe even a 95 or a 90 just for 1 or 2 reps to make sure the body is understanding of what it's about to do and go under a heavy load of about 100 pounds. I will say my personal best when I used to train this is probably closer to 120, so we definitely have some work to do, some strength to get back, but so far I'm pretty proud of the hundreds and how they moved. Definitely, obviously, as you saw right there, a little bit of a hard set, and these you can't really take to complete failure because otherwise you might have a little bit of like shoulder injury or risk of injury. So the big thing here is making sure you have stability when you go ahead and rock back. That's probably the limiting factor for a lot of people, is what they can actually lift up to their legs and then get into position. So highly recommend, if you do feel like you are using a pretty heavy dumbbell, go ahead, grab a spotter. And then the big thing there, once again, slight arch in the back, making sure that our elbows are at a slight angle, not elbows. Elbows are a slight angle that you can see obviously struggling, but able to finish out that rep. And a lot of times it just feels like, what's the groove? How good do you feel? And there I did fail, and as you noticed, I think I might have cracked my phone. Luckily, I did not. The dumbbell landed, and I think it bounced onto my phone. Luckily, it didn't crack because that would have ruined my workout. Next, we'll go back to the incline machine press, and here you guys can actually see me using what I'll call the foot lever to help me get the weight into proper positioning, because I think on my day 1, I did the same machine, and I couldn't really see that foot lever in the actual clips that I recorded for you guys. So there you can see that, and we're going with an incline press. And I just love this machine. Obviously, you could once again substitute another incline. You could do dumbbell incline, you could do Smith machine, barbell, but I just absolutely love this machine. And I know a lot of gyms don't have this machine. They might have a plate loaded. And if I'm ever traveling, I'll use a plate loaded machine if that's the case. But while I'm at Dixie, this is my go-to incline press just because of, once again, stability. I'm able to press very, very heavy and hard without having to worry too much about failing. Like right there, I failed. Instead of having to dump dumbbells or have someone grab a barbell off my chest, I just simply press that little foot lever, it saves me, and it's like a personal spot, which I absolutely love. So here, once again, making sure that everything's in line. As you can see, my wrists and elbows are pretty much stacked throughout the entire movement, really focusing on a good stretch of the chest, making sure we get a full contraction, and once again, controlling the movement. That's the most important thing I've realized for a lot of my chest movements. I really used to only think about, okay, how much weight can I press? How much can I get off of my chest or press away from me? And now I'm realizing, okay, I need to control this movement through the whole range of motion, make sure I feel a good stretch, really focusing on getting those elbows out rather than just my hands, because the elbows are what's going to basically determine how much stretch you have on the chest. You're going to see we're finished off with a few partials there, and then once again using that foot lever as a personal spot. Next, we'll move to the Pec Deck, and depending on what gym I'm at, I'll occasionally do a standing cable fly instead of the Pec Deck, but Dixie does not have a standing cable fly where I can actually do it at a level. I could do high to low or low to high at this gym, but if I'm at Crunch or I'm at eSport or something, I'll do a cable chest fly rather than a Pec Deck on day number 2. But once again, it's all very similar movements, still trying to have a slight bend in the elbows, make sure that when we bring the hands together, we're straightening those arms out and really thinking about getting those elbows together while keeping our shoulders back and down. As you notice, there's definitely still some room for improvement on my last few reps here as far as making sure that I get those hands all the way together as well as make sure those arms are straight. But once again, we're pushing close to failure. There are going to be times when our form might not be perfect, and that's okay. We want to keep a good, clean form, but if you're always thinking I can only go until my form is absolutely perfect, you might leave some gains on the table. So we're going to allow a little bit of form breakdown as we reach maybe that last one or two reps of each set. Another big thing here, as you can see, I'm really trying to keep that proud chest. I'm trying to think chest up to make sure that my chest is what's leading the movement rather than my shoulders or my triceps. So a big thing here is chest up. I kind of repeat that in my head a bunch. And as you will see here, once again, the form starts to get a little bit broken down, and that's just because as the weight gets heavier, it gets harder and harder to do, but I still have a little bit left in terms of what I think my chest can do. So you'll see here, I do a couple partials that aren't necessarily all the way to peak contraction, but we're gonna get the last little gains out of this set right here with a couple partials, making sure that emphasizing the squeezing of the chest. And as always, 3 sets, or I should say 3 exercises to start off the chest and arms workout, because chest is what we're emphasizing. Then we'll move into a bicep exercise. This is a single arm preacher curl, and this I absolutely love. I have done preacher curls on machines. I like those as well, but for some reason, just the single arm preacher curl allows me to really focus on the contraction of the bicep. All I have to do is stabilize. As you can see, my hand is stabilizing, my foot, both my feet actually are stabilizing. My arm is anchored into the pad, and I'm really able to really focus on just the contraction and the elbow flexion, which is what the bicep does. So that's the most important thing here. And as you can see, getting close to failure there. I would say I probably had maybe one more rep, but I'll save the actual true failure until my last set. So since I'm doing 2 sets here in the 9 to 12 rep range, I'll go ahead, or actually, sorry, in the 7 to 10 rep range, I'll go ahead and save my complete failure for that second set, just because the biceps are a muscle group that doesn't really do as well with partials, unlike our chest or a quad or hamstring, something like that, where partials, lengthened partials specifically, can be a really good benefit to get a little bit out of the set. This is something where the biceps don't really need any partials, just train them close to failure until you pretty much fail. But that will be on my second set. So this is still my first set. Obviously, we're switching arms, and I will note, take a break between arms. I take at least 1 to 2 minutes in between each arm. So I'll do my right, I'll take a break, and then do my left, and then rest at the end of the set as well. So this is obviously set number 2 now. We are on to the right arm again after taking a nice long break. And this set, you'll see I take to complete failure. I go to the point where I quite literally am shaking to finish that final rep, but I still get it done. And worst case, what I'll occasionally do, which I don't think I did this set, is I'll use my left hand if I'm using my right-handed curl. Occasionally on that very last rep, I'll use my left hand as like a personal assist. So if I do start to fail around maybe the halfway point, I'll actually use my left hand and kind of assist my right hand up so it can make sure that I complete the rep and don't have any sort of like injury risk, right? You're kind of like spotting yourself, just like the foot wedge on the, or the foot thing on the incline dumbbell press. You can use your left arm to kind of save your right arm if you get to the point of failure. So as you can see right there, I am trying to squeeze as hard as I can, but my body is just naturally slowing down the motion. And that's what we want to see as far as like, once again, a hard, heavy set. There, I almost paused. I remember in my head, oh, use your left hand. But then I was like, you know what, I got this one. And then went ahead and finished strong. And obviously we did the left hand as well. Next, we'll go on to the single arm tricep extension. So this is just one tricep movement today. Since the triceps do so much kind of secondary work in a lot of our pressing movements, we're just gonna do one tricep movement here. And the biggest thing is to have the cable line up with your upper arm. So as you can see right there, my upper arm is almost exactly perpendicular to the ground or vertical. As you can see, the shoulder and elbow are stacked on top of each other. We want the cable to be pretty much in a line as well. So that's the big thing there. And obviously it's hardest when your arm is at 90 degrees. As you guys saw there, my sticking point was right around when my arm or elbow is at 90-90. We did 2 sets there for both arms, once again, resting between each, but my second set was really blurry, so I went ahead and skipped that. Then we went into our final exercise of the day, the incline dumbbell curl. And this is a movement I honestly haven't really done too much in the past. I've never really done any sort of behind the back bicep movements. I've occasionally done some sort of cable curl when I'm like step forward, so my elbows are behind me. But I saw someone at the gym actually do this, and I was like, you know what, let me give it a try.
And honestly, I really enjoyed it. So I went ahead and added it into my own personal training because for the most part, my biceps are always just a basic curl, like a cable curl, easy bar curl, preacher curl. But I thought this was a fun exercise that I could go ahead and hopefully slowly build up some weight on. And honestly, it felt really good. I like the stability aspect of it. The fact that my elbows are pretty much pinned against the actual bench. So you can't really see it, but my tricep is on the bench. So my elbows are quiet. My upper arm is not moving. I really get to just focus on the bicep curl itself rather than have to think about, okay, what is my elbow doing? What's my upper arm? It is very, very stable. And that's a big thing here as far as anchoring. Obviously, once again, to get the most out of an exercise, you want to make sure that you're anchored well. You don't have to worry about maybe your midsection or your abs or stability. You can just go ahead and grind things out as I do here on this very last rep. Almost there, not quite, but that wraps up my chest and arm day.
That is day number 4 of the split done and dusted. I will say that is probably one of my favorite days. Honestly, all the upper days are some of my favorite days at the moment. Definitely trying to prioritize the chest. That's why we're doing all 3 chest movements for both chest and arms day, as well as push day at the start of the workout when I have the most energy, because I'm really trying to build that chest, because that's one thing that I felt was kind of lacking in my physique. As I got leaner, my chest started to basically look smaller and smaller and smaller. So really trying to prioritize the chest, grow the chest, put most of my energy into the chest, and that's why we do it first. But yeah, see you guys in the, what is it, tomorrow? Back and delt day next. So that's the 5th day, and I also really like that day, so stay tuned for that. But make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.